Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today I'm going to show you how I make a wreath with different colors and patterns of my poly burlap mesh. And I'm going to do an edited video so that maybe you don't have to sit through such a long video of watching me make one wreath from start to finish. But we'll do the steps so that you can have a quick refresh. The first thing you're going to need is a 10-inch wreath frame. These I purchased from consumercrafts.com. I believe they're about $1.57 a piece. Don't quote me, sometimes the price changes, but I really have a good experience with these. They're very sturdy frames. I really like this size. It makes a good size on a front door. The next thing you're going to need is canvas. This is called canvas shape or plastic canvas shape, but we also call it canvas mesh. This is the 5 mesh size. It's called 5 mesh, and I also got this at consumercrafts.com as well, and I like this kind because the squares are nice and big. You can stick your your zip ties through fairly easy. So what I do to get started on this is I just take my Sharpie here and I'm just going to outline a circle. That's it. And then I'm going to cut that out. And then we're just going to take this and we are going to zip tie it to the frame. You just can't go wrong with these wire wreath frames. They're just very simple, very inexpensive, and a great way to make a wreath. So all I do is I'm just going to put it underneath here, and I'm just going to take my 4-inch zip ties and connect like this. So all I will do is just go around the whole thing and clip off the edges of that, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're going to get started on the first step of this wreath. Like I showed you before, I cut out the plastic canvas and I attached it with little zip ties. That was step 1. The next step we're going to do is I'm going to need to cut out all of my poly burlap mesh. We're going to cut them 10 inches wide, and it's a 10-inch roll. So I'm just going to take my wood burner and I'm going to demonstrate just here real quick how to cut with the wood burner. You're going to just go in between the lines very slowly, and you're going to be very careful because this is very hot. You should wear a mask because, as you can see, you probably can see the little smoke things coming off. This does put off a scent. So we're going to put this to the side, and in this wreath we're going to use orange poly burlap, this plaid poly burlap, yellow, and green for our leaves. Now, let me be very clear. You cannot buy this plaid poly burlap anymore, unfortunately. This came out about 2 years ago, and I'm almost out of it. So once I'm out of it, I won't be able to sell any more of these wreaths. But this is the reason why I'm doing this video, is because every spring and every fall they seem to come out with other options and other patterns. So like here is like a Christmas, maybe a nutcracker theme, and here's kind of more of a rainbow theme. So what I'm telling you is I'm showing you how to do this video so that maybe you could use some other designed plastic or poly burlap mesh for this. So I just want to kind of step you through the process, do it a little bit quicker than a Facebook Live that you normally would see with me, and just show you how easy this can be. So I'm going to remove all of this stuff, and we're going to add the first layer of petals, okay? So what we're going to do is each frame has sections, and on a 10-inch frame you have 5 sections, okay? And you have crossbars. And I know that if you've watched me before, you may have heard me explain this many times, but I'm going to explain it again. So just bear with me. So I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm just going to place it right here in this first section. We're going to put 2 of our petals here, and then we're going to put 1 on this bracket and 1 on this bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 10-inch by 10-inch, and I'm going to form the basic petal. This has been something I came out with and I learned from Trendy Tree, I believe, years ago. And we're just going to make a basic petal. We're going to flip it over. I'm going to take my 2 fingers and I'm going to squeeze my petals up, and I'm just going to put one petal over the other like that. And then I'm going to take it and just squeeze it at the bottom, and I'm going to attach it with the zip tie that's waiting for me. That's all there is to it. So let's do that again. Meet in the middle, gather it, flip it, and then we're just gonna make our petal, and we're gonna squeeze this and put it right here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around this whole wreath frame, and I guess I should tell you too, I'm gonna show you real quick here, that I attached it not to this bottom, the first ring right here, I attached it to the top ring. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why aren't you doing that? Well, I kind of like the fact that this has something to lay on, and I feel like it supports the wreath a little bit more. And I'm going to put green leaves on the back of this when we're finished. So I'm going to do 2 in each section, 1 on each crossbar, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so forth. So we're going to put 15 petals, guys, 15 petals all around, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and I put the first layer of petals on that second outer ring. Now we're going to put the next 15 sets of petals. Yes, 15. So 15 on the first row, 15 on the second row, or the middle row, as you could call it. I'm going to take my zip ties, and I will leave a link for my zip ties that you can get. You can buy these in bulk on Amazon, and I will leave that link below. These are just the 8-inch zip ties. So again, we're going to work on sections, okay? We're not going to put any of these petals on the cross brackets. It's all going to be in that section. So this is why this is important. We're going to just try to focus on the next bar. So the next bar of the frame, we put the orange layer here, so we're going to go to the next bar right here. So I'm going to put 1 zip tie like that so it will hold it. Take a piece of our 10-inch by 10-inch plaid. Again, you can't get this anymore, but they have other things that you can buy at like Craft Outlet and the Wreath Shop. So I'm going to make my petal, I'm going to turn it over and then fold it and then pinch it right here. And I'm going to just set it in between my zip tie and secure it. So we're going to put 3 petals in each section. Take another zip tie, and on this time, I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the section so that our middle petal will sit on top of the 2 petals beside it. So it's right beside the bracket here, but not on the bracket. We're on that second to the middle wire. So we're going to put 1 of the petals there, pinch, and then attach. And then take our last one, I'm going to put it right in between. So now this petal is in between both of these, and just the way that it lays, this way it gives you just a more uniform look, and I just think that looks good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the second layer, and I will come right back. Okay, so I've got all of my second layer of petals on the wreath. So at this point, we're not going to use the wreath form at all. We're going to use the plastic mesh that we attached at the beginning of this tutorial. So what you're going to do is take one of your zip ties, and I would say about 1 inch to maybe more like 3/4 of an inch in, I'm going to put my first zip tie here. So here's the wire and here's the zip tie. So it's about 3/4 of an inch, maybe 1 inch, okay? So I'm going to get my petal and I'm going to form it just like I showed you at the beginning. And we're going to do the same exact thing. we're going to just take it and we're going to attach it with that zip tie. Okay, I'm going to clip it, and then sometimes if you want you can just roll the zip tie over. I'm going to maybe skip maybe 2 squares of mesh, and maybe more like 1. And I'm just going to put another zip tie next to it so we can have our next petal laying over top of this one. And you're just going to attach it again. I'm just going to keep doing this until I fill this all up, and I will let you know exactly how many petals I used. I find that sometimes I use between 9 and 11, so we'll see how many we get done with this wreath. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to put the middle of our wreath together. I'm going to share a link in the description below, and if you go to that video and go to about minute 33, that's where I show you how to make this center. And basically this center is made from Dollar Tree foam, floral foam. It's a 2-pack for $1, and I like this size. And what I did is I took this super moss that you can get at Joann's. Let's see, Hobby Lobby has it. I don't know if Michael's does, but you can get this, and I demonstrate how to make this. And then what I did is I spray painted it a brown color. So in the video I show you how to do all that, so I'm gonna just go right ahead and add this one now. And this is a great alternative to the ones that you can buy already made. Sometimes those don't stay in stock very long on the online sites. So you're just going to put that where you want it, and I'm going to twist it. I'm going to turn it over. And I did use 11 of the yellow, and as you can see, all the zip ties, you just are going to go in a circle, and it's going to be about the same distance all the way around. And so I'm just going to twist this really good. I'm going to clip it with my handy dandy wire cutters that I get from Amazon. I'll try to leave a link for that too if I haven't already mentioned it. And then I just take the wires and I stick them back into the plastic canvas. So let's add our leaves. This is kind of the final touch, and then I will add a backing to my wreath, and I have a video for that as well. Just really simple. So what I did is I took the 10-inch by 10-inch green poly burlap. I cut it with the wood burner, and you're going to need 5 of these. So total for petals and for leaves, you're going to need 46 cuts. So if you want to do different colors, you're going to need a roll of each. If you want to do one color, you could just do 2 rolls of the base color and 1 roll of the green, which you would have plenty left over. So all I'm going to do is take my 8-inch zip tie, and I'm going to use the brackets as my guides, the cross brackets. Now I'm beside the cross bracket here, I'm not on it, but that's just my guide. So I put my zip tie under the last 2 of the ring here, and we're just going to make a simple petal, gather it up, and I'm going to leave it like this because this is the bottom, and I'm just going to place it right here and then secure the zip tie. All right, I'm going to do the next one. Again, here's the cross bracket, and I'm just going to put my zip tie beside it to kind of keep everything very uniform, because that's really important here. And then I'm going to finish this up, and I'll be right back. So at this point, I've added all my leaves, and I've cut this felt out of just the felt you buy on the roll at the store. And I have a video showing it's really quick and easy, but I am just going to attach, I'm going to take one of my business cards, and I'm just going to attach it to the wreath itself so that my customer can remember where they bought their wreath from. And then this way we have something nice to cover the back of the wreath, and I've never had anybody complain about it. If anything, I've had them always make a note of how nice it was when you finish the back of the wreath. So I'm going to take my zip tie, or not zip ties, but my wire cutter the right way here, and you're just going to take those little zip ties and turn them over once you've cut them, like this. And then we're going to turn our wreath over, and it gets a little flat at this point. So how are we going to make sure that it's not too flat? I'm just going to gently pull up on the leaves, or actually these are the petals, not the leaves. Now, if you would like to spray this with a UV resistant spray, I use something called Rust-Oleum clear acrylic spray. You can find it in the spray paint aisle at your local store, hardware store, department store, and it's the clear matte, and it will even say on it, it gives UV protectant. And I do tend to try to put something on the middle because sometimes that spray will leave a residue, but it does do a good job on the wreath itself. So, and then you're just gonna, you know, if you need to pull or just kind of rearrange. But that is the basic petal technique, and just kind of a quicker and easier way to show you instead of you watching a whole video if you didn't really want to watch one. But this is how I do it with the different colors. The first layer is one color, the second layer is the plaid, but again, you can use any kind of design and then just use a complementary color on top. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure to click on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell and share. So I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome from the Julie's Wreath Boutique.